All right, three, two, one, boom. Welcome to this is Energy Boom 101. Dispatch from the patch 22. Earth-shattering numbers, by the way. There, you're seeing Boom U in Bloom U, and the sun's bursting through. And oh yeah, this is here at the Energy Boom 101 live from the studios of the Transparent Barrel as we do our patented retreat back pedal camera angle. We bring you that. That was lovely. I'm sure you appreciated that. We bring you the slogan that connecting crude to consciousness, one gusher at a time. And we think we've been able to bring that together, and we're going to show you right now. We sort of like what's going on with the camera angle. We're pretty sure that we're going to do an overview of Energy Boom 101 and Energy Boom 102, and it's all going to make sense. And I'm going to give you an update on a bunch of stuff starting right now, so give me half a second. Because there's tons of stuff to update on, but suffice to say, by the way, welcome to Energy Boom 101, which is crude oil. And we always used to say here, live from the studios of the Transparent Barrel, connecting crude to consciousness, one gusher at a time. We've now done that. We've now connected crude to consciousness. So this is sort of good. Energy Boom 101 is about crude oil. Energy Boom 102 is about cannabis. We now have some publicly traded companies we can follow in the cannabis industry that have allowed and now can let us tell the really big story of the U.S. energy boom, which is crude oil, Energy Boom 101, and cannabis, Energy Boom 102. And so our lovely old slogan of connecting crude to consciousness, one gush at a time, has now finally come true. We are connecting crude to consciousness, and this is a great old phrenology chart, one gusher at a time. I think everything's going to start making sense. I'm going to give you some quick updates. As far as the global energy rainbow goes, the big update is that Total, which is France's national oil company, Total, has decided to basically do a big, I think it's probably a liquefied natural gas processing plant, right off the southern coast of Cyprus. I think you know where Cyprus is. So now the global energy rainbow is got a little more blossom, a little more color to it, and we want to welcome France and Total to this little angle here, this very strategic, I would suspect, angle in Cyprus, as Total helps Cyprus supply the rest of the world, or at least certain markets, with their natural gas. So let's welcome them to the global energy rainbow, and let's do a quick overview of the global energy rainbow while we're here, which is that it's going to start out. It's also a chess match, by the way. It's good, and the first thing we like to go over is let you see the horse race that's going on, which is the three big countries that are trying to produce as much oil as they can so they can sell it to the rest of the world. Country number one, Saudi Arabia. Our latest figures, we're still waiting for some updates, 11.7 million barrels a day. And we got an output, pardon me, that was a mash for the kids out there. It was a mash between OPEC and Outlook. It was an output, so it was a mash. It was meant to be. But we have an outlook from OPEC. And I can't remember who called me on that one. I think it was Professor Erwin Corey. They wanted it at $100 a barrel. And we remember they have 80% of the conventional reserves in the world. That's going to amount for some serious leverage, I think. But they also did let us know that they expect to lose probably 8% of their market share over the next 5 years based on shale oil production in the United States and Canadian sand production. And then I think they mentioned the Caspian Sea. Anyway, they're going to lose some of their market share as far as the rest of the world consuming their crude to us. Then Russia. So they're number one. Number two is Russia. 10.8 million barrels per day. Remember, kids, they just signed a deal with China that's got pretty big numbers to it, $85 billion over 10 years. Remember, Vladimir Putin still has the pinky pole. Number three is the United States, 10.3 million barrels per day. We've also got a lovely little regional rainbow occurring here within the global energy rainbow, and that's going to be a Western alliance of energy resources with North America, Canada, the United States, even Mexico. And some stuff will probably happen in South America. I don't know how, but it will. And then, so those are the three big horses that are trying to win the crude oil derby. That's it. Oh my God. It's writing itself. Anyways, there you go. Trademark that, the crude oil derby. Or the oil patch derby. Anyway, the global energy rainbow is also a global energy chess match. I think we're going to give Putin a queen. Probably so. We're definitely giving the United States and President Obama a queen. We'll see how else we're going to carve it up. No other big updates. France, we told you about. We always like to talk about Brazil. We talked about the lever field. When we talked about numbers over in the Russian deal in Siberia of 85 billion, so you're talking 208 billion, but that's over 35 years. That Russian deal in Siberia is over 10 years, so it's big numbers. And we talk about who's involved here: Shell Oil, Total. They're in Cyprus. Well, they're also here in the Libra oil field. CNOOC and the other one out of China. And that's pretty much it for the global energy rainbow. As far as the United States, as far as the domestic energy rainbow in the United States, there's a lot going on. Here's an article from the Wall Street Journal. Truckers tapped into gas boom. The gist of the article is that a lot of big trucking companies are looking at converting their fleets, big fleets, from diesel to natural gas. And you know, you can read this. It's in the Wall Street Journal from Wednesday, October 30th by Mike Ramsey. It's a pretty dang good article. Anyways, the gist of it is that a lot of big trucking companies are making a bet on natural gas, and it's probably a pretty good bet to make. And they're mentioning specifically certain probably publicly traded companies that would benefit. I think Westport Innovations, they're probably publicly traded. You can look them up if they are. They probably even had some kind of connection to probably Chesapeake and McClendon. Maybe, I don't know. But that's going on in the United States. So here's an update. United States, the shale gas has been out of the ground and flowing for 10 years. Now the big it's taken this long for the big trucking fleet companies to now basically say, yeah, well, they're making a bet too. So you can see that the boom here probably has legs to it. Here's another interesting article. This was the article on Chesapeake. We talked about this in a little shoot we did for the autumn Boom You and Bloom You, a little 5-part investigative series that's not really a part of the dispatch from the patch. It's sort of its own little thing, a tribute to Boom You and Bloom You. But this is an article on Chesapeake that, in an overview, their stock got hit for about a 6% loss a few days ago when they announced that they were cutting back on drilling and their production would be lower than Eagle Ford. Eagle Ford, right there. But then the article also ends, and I'll end it on this because it's probably the best way to look at it. Keep this in mind. Since Doug Lawler arrived at Chesapeake, the stock has been up 36%, and it had a nice little correction a few days ago based on these production things they're talking about in Eagle Ford. I would keep the big picture in mind that Doug Lawler's arrival has the stock up 36%. This is a little correction. It's going to continue to go up, so I'd leave it alone. If you're in Chesapeake, take her long. But don't listen to what I have to say on that matter. Let's end it with this. Ooh, bells of boom you. All right, let's give them their moment. Okay, we appreciate that. They're going to let us. Bells of boom, you're going to let us end this. Some analysts called Wednesday's share drop an overreaction. Quote, the minute you slow down capital spending, it shouldn't surprise most people that your production rate isn't as robust. Delicately put. By Mark Hansen, an analyst at Morningstar. God bless him. Okay, so that's what's going on with Chesapeake. Eagle Ford, by the way, is a shale play in South Texas. It's relatively new, and they're getting a shitload of, I think it's a light, I think they call it a light or a sweet style of crude and condensate, and EOG's big down there, Chesapeake's big down there, and a few others. So that's what's going on now. Here was, we had a bunch of articles about, I don't even know what time we're at, so let me check the time real quick. All right, 10 minutes. We'll wrap this thing up. Here's another update. I talked to you guys about how a company called Enervest has come to Oklahoma and it bought about $330 million worth of land in the Granite Wash, and they bought it from Chesapeake, I think. And Mr. McClendon, our first guest conductor of the Symphony of Shale, glad that we can make a plug in the Symphony of Shale today. His company, American Energy Partners, their first drop-down play was in the Utica, and the land he bought was from Enervest. He purchased roughly 22,000 acres from Enervest. I think he did. I'm citing the Wall Street Journal, so if they sue me, I'll sue the Wall Street Journal. We'll all have fun with this. But anyways, so Enervest, the company that sold Mr. McClendon 22,500 acres that he's drilling for in the Utica, that company's in Oklahoma. And I thought they only had one play, but they have two. And this is an article in yesterday's Oklahoman. This is by Adam Wilmoth, and this is a nice little article. It offers a lot of value, and so anyone out there that wants to understand the energy boom should go read it. There's my pitch there to the Oklahoman and whoever runs that now. I think it's a gentleman out of Denver. Anyways, so this is interesting. Enervest has two large deals in western Oklahoma totaling nearly $740 million. Boom. So I didn't know this, so I'll read you this. Enervest paid $396 million to Laredo. Laredo's another Oklahoma City company, to buy 95,000 acres and 266 billion cubic feet of natural gas reserves, blah. Enervest is set to close by the end of the year on its purchase of $343 million purchase from S&M Energy, which is one I was telling you about recently. So they have significant holdings in western Oklahoma. And the company, okay, let's see, Enervest, okay. Well, the company is bullish on its future in Oklahoma. Enervest has 24 employees in Oklahoma, where it operates 383 wells. After the purchase is closed, the company will operate more than 1,300 wells in the state. So those are some numbers you can keep your mind on with Enervest. You can know basically the size of the company by the number of wells they're operating, how much money they brought in here. Are we going to keep up with this? Of course not. I mean, we can't keep up with anything. But this is a pretty good little story, and this is one of many. Go out and get the Oklahoman, for God's sake. Read it. It's interesting. Now, there's probably a few other things I could get to, but we're about to run out of time. So I probably have to... I think I can squeeze it in and just wrap this up. Okay, what else was there going on in Oklahoma? Here's a big thing. Thank you to Harold Hamm for giving a bunch of money to the Diabetes Center. Harold Hamm runs Continental Resources. Boom president, David Bourne, I believe, is on the board of directors. I've always said that. I hope he is, or else I'm going to get in trouble. Harold Hamm uncorks the Bakken and is getting ready to uncork the Scoop, and so he's giving money to diabetes. We love him here. Global Energy Rainbow, a little thing on Argentina. You know about ATCO Oil. Let's see here. I learned an interesting little side bit on Devon, which I'd like to talk to them about. They sold their land in the Tuscaloosa Marine Shale, which might be the next big shale play. They sold it to Goodrich, if I remember correctly. And I'd like to sort of talk to Devon. If someone wants to come on the show, I'm sure they're going to get on top of that one really quick. Then we also get a quick update. This is good. Quick update. We talked about the Niobrara Shale in Colorado. Well, there's a fracking fight looms in Colorado. They have banned fracking in certain towns or municipalities, whatever you want to call it. But there was a vote, and the whole thing's a little complex. But basically, the Niobrara Shale in Colorado, right around Fort Collins, Colorado State, this whole area, there's about 4 towns that wanted to ban fracking. I think 3 of them have banned it, but even the ban is going to be challenged. And the 4th one that didn't ban it, we'll see what happens. But here are some of the big names up there. Noble Energy does a lot of drilling up there. WPX, the company out of Tulsa that drills a surprise little play in New Mexico, the Gallup, New Mexico region. And then they also drill in Niobrara, and then they also own 77% of ATCO, which drills in Venezuela or Argentina. But these are the big updates on the U.S. energy landscape. We gave you updates on the global. I think we got it in under 15 minutes. Dispatch from the patch 22, done.